Splunk Admin Road Map, Day 5. In this video, we will discuss about how to set up a forwarder. It has three different steps. The first one is pre-installation. There are some pre-installation checks we have to do before we installing the Universal Forwarder. And there are installation steps. Using CLI, we are going to install Universal Forwarder in Linux machine. Post installation, we will do some checks so that we are good to go. First one, pre-installation checks. What are the checks to be done before installing Universal Forwarder? First one, I know we already have a EC2 instance. If not, we create one. But in your live environments, the server will be that place where the data originates. But in our lab environment, we are going to create one EC2 instance. Second one is new user called Splunk. Third one, create a directory, the home directory for Splunk installation. Then change the ownership of the directory which was created. Then verify the ownership of the directory. Then install the duplicate. This is the package which will help us download the Splunk Universal Forwarder from the internet. Now let's see that in a live. For that, first let's log into Universal Forwarder backend. Click on the Universal Forwarder, click on connect and copy this SSH command. Now open your git bash and you can go to the place where you have your key PEM file. I have it here, so I'm gonna enter this. Let's say yes. Now we are logged into server, and then to install Splunk or like all the other commands, and then you can follow the commands listed in this documentation. The day 5 documentation is listed in this page, the course page. You can go to your course page and click on the day 5 and you can see how to set a forwarder. Just right below this video you have this document available. We can use the steps one by one. Now after logging into the EC2 instance, so let's become a root user by giving sudo su. Yes. Now let's create the Splunk user. User add Splunk, group add Splunk. But group add Splunk. Group already exists. That's fine. We're just making sure that it is not missing. Now let's check if the Splunk user is created properly. Yes, this shows that Splunk user is created. It is added to group as well. Now let's make the directory for Splunk Universal Forwarder. Now mkdir Universal Forwarder. Let's change the ownership of that directory. We changed it, and now let's check the ownership of the directory. We're copying this command. Yes, it says is Splunk Forwarder. It says Splunk as the owner. Now we are good to go. Now let's install a duplicate package. It's a package downloader. It's getting installed. It takes few seconds. Please be patient. It's asking yes or no. I'm giving yes. It got installed. Now the prerequisites are done. The next one is the installation steps. We're going to use CLI commands to install the Splunk Universal Forwarder. So you can decide either it is a manual or automatic installation. Either if it be depending on the Linux or Windows machines what you have, the commands might change. So once you have the steps documented, we can directly go ahead and install the Universal Forwarder. For that, let's follow the same document, and we have steps documented here. Now let's change it as a Splunk user, right? And then let's navigate to the home directory. And what is the next one? Yeah, duplicate package downloader command. So we can execute that. It's downloading the package. Now let's extract the package. It's getting extracted. Now let's navigate to the bin folder. We are in the bin folder. Now we can start the Splunk using this command. In this command, you see at the end we have your password as a temporary placeholder. You can copy till here and paste it, and now add your own password. I'm just giving admin 123, but please make sure you're giving a strong password. I'm just entering it. Yeah. Now forwarder is installed. The next step is the post installation. What to do after installing the Splunk forwarder? Now we have to configure the Splunk forwarder to run at boot time. We have to check if the default server name is changed. If not, we have to change it, and the host name as well. Then we have to check the ports from the CLI. Like, as this is a universal forwarder, it is okay to check only management port. Other ports are not needed. To do that, you can follow the steps in the same document, the post installation step. So I'm gonna use the same step. So for that, let's exit from the Splunk user, and let's make sure we are in a root user. Yes, we are in a root user, and let's stop the Splunk. Yes, it is stopped, and now let's configure it as a boot start, the Splunk user. Yes, and let's verify if the boot start is configured. Let's check using this command. Yes, it says configured as a systemd managed service. So this shows that the Splunk is configured to run as a boot start. So either you can use this command. Let's check. Yeah, I mean it is not coming. That's fine for now. But yeah, at least if you get the response from the first command like this, then it means it is configured. And now let's check the management port. So yes, management port. This command. Yes, it is 80810. We are good. Also, we have to check the server name. For that, we can execute the command Splunk show server name is executed. Yeah, it says something like this, server name. So we have to change this to universal forwarder. If you want, you can change it, but I would suggest to keep it as it is, because universal forwarder should have the host name so that it will be easy for us to track from our indexer or search point of view. So you can also check the same thing from hostname perspective, default hostname. Yes, it is also same. So if you are okay with it, then please leave this. The next one is how to connect forwarder with an indexer. So to connect forwarder with an indexer, so we have to enable receiving on the indexer first, and then configure forwarding on the forwarder. Once it is done, this will get established. Then we can go to a universal forwarder, or like we can go to search it to check if the data flow is happening, the internal data. To do that, we can follow the steps documented here. The first one is enable receiving on the indexer. For that, let's navigate to the indexer UI. So let's go to the instances and log into the indexer front end. Admin and your password. Okay, I'm giving wrong password. Let me give right one. It is opened. Could go to settings and forwarding and receiving. Configure receiving, and you see 9997 is already open. So if it is not open, you can configure it like this. Click on new receiving port and you can click on 9997, then it will be open for you. So in this server it is already open, so I'm leaving it like that. The next step is configuring forwarding on the forwarder. So for that, let's navigate to the forwarder backend. So this is done. So the second one is like we are going to the forwarder backend, universal forwarder. I'm already on the universal forwarder. Let's log in as a Splunk user, and let's go to this directory, opt splunk etc system directory, and type ls. So there are some files, so we need to have a outputs.conf file. So let's paste it, and now we have to configure this. We have to place this. So here you replace your indexer IP with your indexer private IP. So for that, let me open a notepad. Open a notepad. In notepad, I'll paste this and make sure you don't have the spaces. Yeah. Now let's copy the indexer private IP, and let's open the notepad and change that indexer private IP and copy the whole thing and go to the terminal and paste it. Go to the insert mode and paste it. This is done. Now save this file. Once it is done, you can exit from the Splunk user and make sure you are in a sudo, and then you can go to this bin directory and restart the forwarder. So once it is restarted, the connection will be established. Then we can go to the indexer UI and we can run this particular command query, then to see if the restart is successful. Let's go to the indexer UI and let's run this entire index equal underscore internal last 15 minutes to see. Yes, there are two hosts. One is like 44.86. Let's verify that from the backend. Yes, 44.86. So the data is coming from this universal forwarder. Also, you can just, if you want, you can filter that particular host and see the path. You see here OPT Splunk forwarder. This is also one of the confirmation. That's it for this video.